On my 16th birthday, my mom called me to the living room to talk. There, my whole family was gathered, looking very serious, like they had a personal vendetta with the world itself. But nothing could have prepared me for what I heard next. Let's rewind. I am a Disua, a proud Nigerian and Yoruba to be exact, the only daughter and pampered princess of the Adenugas, the second in line to their entire fortune after my elder brother Demalad. He is 4 years older than me. An unparalleled genius with a permanent poker face and a jawline so sharp it could cut glass. He's pretty good looking, a literal heartthrob, but not as pretty as me, obviously. His also a bookworm, always busy reading or learning. I, on the other hand, am the complete opposite, very free-spirited and chill. Despite our differences, we have a really good relationship. I, for one, like to pester him a lot. The Adenugas are a family of business tycoons and old money. So when I say I was pampered, I mean it. There was enough money to last centuries. As their only daughter, I was given everything I could dream of. When my 16th birthday came, they threw me a grand party. After the party, my mom said she would like to speak to me downstairs. When I got there, I sat on the sofa beside my brother, a suffocating tension in the air. Then my mom said it, "You are adopted." At first I thought I misheard, but apparently, when I was 1 year old during my naming ceremony, I got kidnapped by a rival of my real parents, Mr. and Mrs. Adedatuni. The Adedokans were rich, but not Adenuga rich, but they were also business tycoons. Since I went missing, they had been searching for me until they adopted a girl named Faronmi to fill the hole in their hearts. Eventually, they got too occupied to continue the search for me. When my family, the Adenugas, found out I was 14, and I already saw them as my only family, so they didn't want to hurt me. Neither did they want to keep me away from the truth. They waited until I was old enough to decide what I wanted. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I knew my family had my best interest at heart, but this was too much for me to process. Soon, my head began to spin and I couldn't breathe. Before I knew it, I dropped to the ground. The last thing I heard was my mom scream, then everything went black. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself in a hospital room, my mom beside me. Immediately, she realized that I was awake. She rushed to call the doctor, my dad and brother. The doctor examined me and said I was okay, just needed some rest and left. After the doctor left, my mom sat next to me on the hospital bed and apologized for how she revealed the truth to me. She said all she wanted was the best for me. I held her hand and told her there was no need to apologize. I was not angry or upset, and the Adenugas would always be my family, but I still wanted to meet my real parent. My mom said she understood and they were going to stick by me no matter what. My dad offered to get in touch with my family for me, and I agreed. 3 days later, I was discharged from the hospital. I would have left sooner, but my family were adamant on me staying to rest a bit more. When I got home, I changed my clothes and went to the dining room to eat with my family. While eating, my dad mentioned that he had contacted my biological parents, and they were happy to see me. He added that I would be going to their house 2 days from now. He also said he had contacted my school to inform them I wouldn't be coming for some time and that further details would be given in the future. 2 days flew by faster than I thought. I had already packed my load, which consisted of a few clothes, jewelries, and some necessities in a backpack. I wore a simple attire, mainly a jean jacket, blouse, and jeans. Got on the brand new power bike that my dad got me and set off on my journey. When I got to the house, I was welcomed in by the maids. My mother and father were nowhere in sight. Later, I got to know that they were busy appeasing their adopted daughter, who was feeling insecure because of my return. Classic C-drama manipulation tactics. Unfortunately for them, I couldn't care less. I went into my room, freshened up, and went downstairs for lunch. When I got to the dining room, I sat down and began to eat like I was the only one in the room and no one else existed. My biological mother, father, and their adopted daughter stared at me like I owed them something in a past life. I didn't really care, though, not like they cared how I felt when they left me to appease their adopted daughter. But before I could relax or enjoy my meal, I heard a faked sad voice say, "Sis, I am sorry Mom and Dad didn't welcome you because of me. Please don't take it out on them." I looked up, and yes, you guessed it was my adopted sister, Faranmi, speaking. At that moment, the only thing on my mind was how she was a green tea bitch. I looked at her with a stare so cold she shivered. Internally, I was impressed with myself, but I didn't let it show. Still maintaining that icy stare, I said in a flat, uninterested tone, "Honestly, I don't care. They might have given birth to me, but in my eyes, they are nothing but sperm and egg donors, so you can keep them to yourself as much as you want." The silence that followed was deafening. Faranmi was speechless. Her carefully orchestrated plans crumbled with a single sentence from me. Just as I was feeling very pleased, an angry shout was heard. It was my dad. Upon hearing his voice, I finally remembered my parents were still seated. I looked towards them. My mom still shocked by my previous statement, and my dad was fuming. He looked at me like he wanted to burn me with his gaze. Too bad for him he couldn't. He shouted at me, saying I was inconsiderate, rude, blah blah blah, but I stopped listening to what he was saying at rude. When he was done, I stood up and walked out. He tried to grab me and discipline me, but I, a black belt taekwondo expert, was faster. I dodged and left. When I was finally alone in my room, thinking it was all over, I heard a knock. I stood up and opened the door, and it was Faranmi. She pushed past me and entered my room like she owned it. She sat on my bed and started speaking. "Adesua, right? I came to put you in your place. This is my house, my family. If you know what is best for you, leave now." I smiled, and with the sweetest voice I said, "It's quite surprising that a substitute thinks she has the right to claim anything. If I were you, I would start counting my days, 'cause time's almost up." She got so mad she launched at me, but she was too slow. I sidestepped her and slapped her simultaneously. She was speechless, but quickly recovered and started screaming. Like clockwork, my biological parents came running. Upon seeing their little angel's bruised face, they stared at me with anger. If looks could kill, I wouldn't be telling this tale right now. Without asking what happened, they started shouting at me. At this point, I didn't care anymore. I packed my things and left, and no one came after me. Once I arrived at home, I was greeted by the servants and walked in only to see my parents at the door expecting me. It turns out they had been spying on me all this time. I was angry, but I got over it quick because I knew they did it because they cared. They gather around me, trying to make me feel better, even promising to bankrupt the Adado cones, but I told them not to. I was petty, but not that petty. I enrolled back in school the next day. I had not been gone long because I stayed at the Adadokans for about a day before I left. I didn't really miss much. My friends saved notes for me and told me all the latest. Just 2 years flew by really fast. I graduated with honors from secondary school and got into a prestigious university with my hard work. My parents decided to hold a party for me to celebrate my 18th birthday, which was happening 3 days from now on the 5th of July. The morning of my birthday, my parents hired the best stylist, makeup artist, and got me the best of everything. While Demelade, my brother, got me a beautiful diamond necklace. By the time I got ready, I was stunning. Like straight out of a magazine, stunning. I wore a lovely, strapped silver mermaid dress and a sparkling high heel to match with diamond accessories, especially the diamond necklace my brother gave me. My hair was packed into a bun and a light makeup was done on my face. After I was done, my father's assistant approached me and told me my parents and brother were not around and went to handle some work matters. I got into the limo and went to the party venue. I entered happy and delightful until I heard a familiar voice. Yes, you guessed it again. It was the adopted daughter of the Adadokans, Faranmi. She worked towards me, saying, "Isn't this my sister who ran away from home? It's so unexpected seeing you here. I didn't know you were someone important, so tell me, who did you sleep?" Before she could even finish her words, I slapped her not once, not twice, but thrice. Then I looked her dead in the eyes and said, "It's wrong for people to project their ways onto others. If you don't know what to say, then shut it. This is no TV show where you're the main lead, so keep quiet before you say something you can't take back." When she was done talking, I replied by saying that I had no sister, and she was a stranger, so who gave her the right to talk to me? Just when I was about to make my dramatic exit, my biological mother started talking about how I was an ingrate and that my sis was just concerned about me. She lifted her hands, wanting to slap me, when a voice suddenly said, "Touch her if you dare." It was my dad, Mr. Adenuga, speaking. My parents and brother had arrived. They walked towards us, and my mom slapped my biological mother. She fell, and gasps spread out from among the guests. My biological father was about to stand up for his wife when he saw my dad's face clearly. He began to shiver and stammer as he greeted Mr. Adenuga while sweating profusely. The guests' eyes went wide as they understood the situation. My dad took my hands and announced that today's party was organized for my daughter Adisua Adenuga to celebrate her 18th birthday, and disrespect shall not be tolerated. I hereby cancel all cooperation with the Adedokans. Take them away. My biological father collapsed and all of them were dragged away. I had a great time as I celebrated with friends and greeted guests. Last I heard, the Adedokans went bankrupt and they went from elites at the peak to paupers, working odd jobs just to make ends meet.